This is the glove that I allegedly wore on the night of the murders. Now, as you can clearly see, it does not fit.
It's time for another episode of Romeroween.
My kid Chris was wondering, do you think it was a bigger feat to break 2,000 yards in one season or slice 2 necks in one night?
What happens when you take George Romero and OJ Simpson and put them together? You get 1974's The Juice is Loose, which was then shamelessly re-released in 1994 by Vidmark. When it was originally released in 1974, The Juice is Loose was part of a show called The Winners. This was a show that George Romero worked on during the mid-70s, and it was about various sports personalities. And that's about all I know, because there are no other episodes that are available commercially other than The Juice is Loose. Sorry, it's a dead end in terms of more information. FYI, this show is actually called OJ Simpson Juice on the Loose, but I have always referred to it as The Juice is Loose, so we're gonna go with that because it's my show, and if you don't like it, sorry. I feel like it's a fair question to ask, why is Vidmark's release so tacky? Well, just check out the box.
I love you, Nicole, but I must confess to some trepidation, for I am a lonely waiter who loves a lass above his station.
But soft run, my husband draws near.
Nicole, I'm back from filming the 3rd Naked Gun movie. Oh, horror, you have betrayed me. Al Dowling said it would be so. Kato!
I didn't see a thing.
What else would you expect from a company that gave us Return of the Living Dead 3, 2 shitty Warlock movies, and 3 abysmal Leprechaun sequels? But I will say, their opening logo is pretty awesome. We start this beast with some very familiar sounding music. That music will be familiar to any Romero head. It's more of that wonderful D. Wolf library music that George Romero used in many of his films in the 1970s, including Dawn of the Dead. If there was any doubt that this is a Romero film, check this opening montage out. Man, that beginning part reminds me of one of his horror films. I half expect a zombie to come waltzing in. Who doesn't love a good homage to 2001, especially when George Romero's directing it? I'm not really surprised by this because one of Romero's favorite movies is Dr. Strangelove, so it would make sense that he would be a Kubrick guy. But there is one thing I find funny about this. 2001 wasn't even 10 years old at this point, and somehow this still feels like it was cliché. have two questions. One, do you think that Ric Flair cares that OJ stole his music?
No! No!
Two, was this the music that OJ used when he found out he was being paroled?
Mr. Simpson, I do vote to grant parole when eligible, and that will conclude this hearing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Time to hear from the man himself. OJ, you got the floor.
First of all, I would have never worn those ugly shoes. I'm with gloves the way I am with sunglasses. I lose them.
Yeah, that's, awkward. Hey, how about this thing? Whatever it is. That is some super 70s shit if I've ever seen it, man.
We should have saved all those things for the nirvana of pro football runners.
God knows I shouldn't be picking on somebody for mispronouncing words. I do it all the goddamn time. But really? The nirvana?
Nirvana of...
It's technically nirvana.
Nirvana of...
There is one thing I find humorous from this segment. It reminds me of when the band Nirvana first came out, and you would hear old people talk about how they're ruining society, and they would go, "You and your Nirvana are ruining the world," and we'd be like, really? It's been almost 30 years and the world's still turning, baby.
Nirvana of...
OJ is the kind of runner whose instincts surpass those of any runner I have ever seen.
Huh. So that's Howard Cosell. I always thought he was Korean.
Wayne Meyer, the kid from Green Bay.
See, here's a good example. Two brothers, one speaks no English, the other learned how to speak English from watching the wide world of sports. So you tell me, which is better, speaking no English at all or speaking Howard Cosell?
The things you learn in life sometimes surprise you. Hey, did you know that Howard Cosell actually was a witness during OJ's trial? Check it out.
What he has is this uncanny instinct for sensing when to make the move, when to make the cut. He can kill you with a head fake. He can kill you with the swiftness of his legs and the ability to veer direction at any single second. He also kills you with his variation of speed.
Wow, that is awkward. Look, I know this was filmed long before OJ was an accused murderer, but really? You couldn't choose better words than kill and cut to describe a football player. Wow. Is that a normal way to describe a human being? To talk about how they kill and cut somebody? No! I didn't think so.
That OJ Simpson could move into this room and out of it without touching anyone. And that particular room was just wall to wall with people.
Was that part of the prosecution's case against him? Like, I know we keep going back to the murder well, but it's comedy gold, right?
How about no?
This is just an idea, but maybe in the future, sports writers should pick better words and terms to use when describing sports stars just in case they turn into murderers. Kill and cut are not the best words to use to describe somebody. Case in point with this guy who's speaking about OJ like he can get in and out of a room without anyone noticing. The problem with this is that's what the prosecution was alleging OJ did on the night of the murders.
And it was the upset of the year in high school football here. OJ won the game for us. He stole the ball. He played defense for us. 60 yards for a touchdown was just the most memorable experience in my life.
Wait a minute. Did he just say that that was the most memorable moment in his life? Like, are you serious? Not the birth of his children, not the day he bought a cactus, or the day he got the clap. No, some shitty high school football game that no one will ever remember. Shouldn't he be proud of the fact that he actually got to coach OJ and help be a part of that success story? I guess he doesn't have big dreams in life.
Turned out that they've been filling this place just about every Sunday, which is a fantastic tribute to the people of Western New York.
Ah, Jack Kemp, former VP candidate for Bob Dole. Yeah, that Bob Dole.
I keep telling them that they don't, keep electing me, I'll come back and play quarterback. That scares them.
Jack Kemp is an interesting guy, though. Not only did he debate the future Emperor of the Moon, Al Gore,
I'd like to start by offering you a deal, Jack. If you won't use any football stories, I won't tell any of my warm and humorous stories about chlorofluorocarbon abatement.
He also played football in the NFL. Technically, he played most of his career for the AFL, but he does have one record that the NFL does acknowledge. Now, to be fair, that's not the most flattering record, but from what I've been told and read, he's a good player. I wouldn't particularly know because I wasn't alive when he played. But if you look at that record, he shares that honor with a lot of really great players. Troy Aikman, Bart Starr, Randall Cunningham. I think that's pretty good company to be in.
And he made it clear forevermore that while Miami has the oranges, Buffalo has the juice.
Oh, Howard, I didn't know that you were known for your little cute quips. Couldn't he have said something like this before instead of talking about OJ killing people? Just an observation.
I've been in this business for more than 20 years, and to me, OJ Simpson is the most cooperative athlete I've ever worked with.
It's not calculated. There would be no reason to give your time to every reporter, and I don't know him to have turned anybody down.
Yeah, first of all, to win the football game, and we'll worry about the records after that.
What the hell is this, OJ home security footage? The funny thing about this is that this reminds me of a very similar scene from Dawn of the Dead.
To every reporter, and I don't know him to have turned anybody down.
Yeah, first of all, to win the football game, and we'll worry about the records after that.
I'll be honest, I know that I keep referencing Dawn of the Dead, but there are so many comparisons here, it's ridiculous. It's almost like everything he did in between night and dawn was a blueprint for the movie Dawn of the Dead. There are so many techniques in these early works that ended up in Dawn, it's not even funny. Don't blame me, he's the one who did it.
In fact, Time magazine was doing an in-depth interview, and they went to a number of people across the nation.
Now we're up to one of my favorite parts, the Marilyn O'Brien part. She's an agent of OJ or something. I didn't bring her up because she said anything stupid or funny. I mean, honestly, she's about as bland as salt. But there is a reason I did bring her up, and the reason is this. What? That's clearly not her! One, this girl maybe wasn't even born when this was first produced. Two, she's not even a ginger. And three, she's fucking British! So yeah, I would call this a major fuck-up.
Well, OJ is a lousy gin player.
Thanks, Cosell, for that worthless information. You got any other pearls of shit that nobody cares about?
Otherwise, I know of nothing negative about him.
Yeah, pretty sure you won't be saying that now. Especially with the armed robbery conviction against him, the fact that he probably murdered 2 people. No, he did murder 2 people. But one of his friends can, sum up this scene best.
He can't sing.
Fuck you.
I need friendships, a lot of friendships, and I'm trying to say, I think that what...
This is some weird B-roll. Like, OJ's walking into a store maybe to buy a calculator, and then he's giving the world's most half-assed wave or black power sign. I think this would have been actually very interesting to see how they got this footage. Watching Romero direct this would have been hilarious. Was he like, Juice, I need some B-roll. Do you think we can get a shot of you walking into a store that sells calculators?
Hey, Reggie!
Okay, I'm talking, man. Are you listening? Man, I said, are you listening? I'm listening. Leave me alone, please.
So, is this footage from OJ's first parole hearing? No wonder they didn't let him out the first time.
Juicy or go. Juice go. Hey, Juicy or go. 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 Juicy or go.
What? What the fuck is this? I can't even wrap my head around this part. This has to be the most confusing thing that happens in this whole documentary. Is this supposed to show the range of acting that the Juice is able to do, or is it just more B-roll that they decided that they needed? I don't know. As we near the end of the documentary, OJ says something that even he at the time I don't think would fully grasp.
You know, and I've always enjoyed that, you know, that when OJ dies, somebody's going to be talking about him.
Yeah, Juice, when you die, people will be talking about you, but maybe not in the way that you originally intended. That was The Juice is Loose. Romero made a very good sports documentary about a man who at the time was admired by many. It gets you wondering, if OJ had lived a different life, would this documentary even be remembered? More than likely, it would have been forgotten. It's only because of the trial of the century that The Juice is Loose even had a second life. Let's not forget that it was re-released to cash in on the deaths of 2 people. Way to stay classy, Vidmark. With that done, let's try to do something more positive for the next review. I wonder what's next.
Love is the answer.
Yeah, love is the answer. So joy, 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 joy.
Wait, what? Oh, no, not fucking Ziggy. Can we go back to OJ?
Say, that's some good-looking candy you've got there. Could I have some? Ouch!
Well, I guess it'll be a Merry Christmas for me. So, till next time.
Well, OJ is a lousy gin player.
He can't sing. Juicier, go. Juice, go. Hey, Juicier, go. Juicier, go. Juicier, go. Juicier, go. Juicier, go. Juicier, go.